Well, Triton Trojans fans, another sports season is upon us. I'm Andy O'Hara for the Triton Trojan Sports Network, and we'll be going behind the X's and O's with players and coaches with interviews each week. And now on to this week's interview. All right, Trojan fans, now I'm here alongside Jeremiah Farrell. Jeremiah, first, before we start this whole thing, the sportsmanship thing against LaVille was huge for me. I mean, when I got to see that, that made me so excited to watch you, because that was a tough game. And with this season and the adversity you've gone through, that sportsmanship, that attitude. I mean, it's not so much as, okay, well, they're just friendly players. No, you're in a tough moment. You're still encouraging your guys. You're encouraging the guys that you're playing against, and you're on the sideline. That's an infectious thing. And to watch that as a broadcaster and as a fan of you guys, that's huge. Walk me through that game and kind of help me understand what you did on the field that night.
All right, so it all happened in the second half during the halftime speech that Eunice always gives no matter what. He goes, keep encouraging each other, keep fighting, because South Central almost came back on us, and they were down 26-0. And yeah, we were down by more, but we could still come back. And then they go out and force a 3-and-out on us, and then they go and score with ease. And in my head, I just kept saying, like, keep fighting, and I also saying it out loud. And then this one ref, before they kicked the extra point, he said, 58, I love your attitude, keep it going. And then after they made the extra point, we went to the sideline. And then he went up to Eunice and goes, Rodney Eunice, looked around, found him. He goes, I'm going to nominate 58 for a sportsmanship award because he's out there motivating, saying don't give up, stuff like that.
And that's huge. When you watch, especially in that spot there, that is so huge. And I know, and like I said, even though that didn't show a win in where you'd won it on the schedule, but still that's a win for you, and that's a win for the entire team, because that's huge. That's infectious. Those freshmen and those sophomores are going to see that. And the rest of the juniors, that's going to bring you guys a little bit closer together, and that's going to have you guys to have the right attitude. And I keep telling everybody, this team, don't judge them by what's on the schedule. This team is a good football team, and they're only going to get better. That's why I keep saying you guys are there. I mean, you guys have been depleted, but you guys have stood tall. With leaders like you in the locker room and like Connor and all the rest of you guys, and what you guys bring in like D'Angelo and Trenton, how you guys bring that whole thing back around full circle with the right attitude, with encouraging one another, because when you're down, it's deflating.
Right.
I mean, I get that. Trust me, as a broadcaster, I know I'm not down on the field, but watching you guys and being a fan and just being all in on you, all in and about you guys, for me, it comes down to it. It can be deflating, and it can be a bummer. Like I told my wife the other night, I was bummed. I said, I feel bad for the guys. This is a great team. And I said, hopefully I know they're going to put it together. And so when they do, I don't want to be facing you guys.
Right.
Just saying, because like I said, with that attitude and encouraging everybody, that makes a team tougher. That's a mental thing. And when it comes down to sectional time, when the playoff time, that's huge. Because that's a team, when a team's mentally tough like that, you don't want to face those guys, especially the playoffs. I can think of several teams that made runs in the playoffs. May not have been as talented on like was the other side of the ball maybe, but yet the mental side and the work ethic, the drive, those teams are going to win. And that's what you guys are putting yourself in that driver's seat. As an upperclassman, what kind of things are you trying to improve for yourself now? You're getting more playing time, and as well trying to teach some of the other guys coming in.
Well, I'm a lineman both ways now. I used to be a linebacker. And one thing the coach always preached about is firing off, because a lot of us, and I'm guilty of it too, when they snap the ball, we just stand straight up instead of firing off. And that's what I've been trying to work on, and that's what we've been trying to tell them, the other people, because even varsity starters, you'll still see them, even on offense, they'll will snap it, and instead of firing off and hitting the guy like you're supposed to, they just stand up, and that's an easy way to get hit and blown back, and the play's done, especially if that's through your assignment. And so we've been trying to get that, and not to be scared when we see people like LaVille that has bigger players and like a good past, and like Pioneer, Culver, yeah, they were way bigger than us, but they were not 30 points better than us. No. Not by far. No. Stuff like that, like we just look scared. And I noticed it recently, every time we get scored on, like one time, like when Culver went and scored in like the first 3 minutes, something like that, I could just see on their faces, everybody was saying, oh, they scored easy, this is going to be a bad game. Like I could just see on their faces. I'm like, why are you just quitting already? And that's what happened even like against South Central. Like they scored once and they were all like, uh-oh. It's like even in the NFL, people score
Oh,
touchdowns.
yeah. It happens all the time. I can think
Yeah.
of several teams that get scored on, but yet they still come back.
Yeah.
I mean, like you saw first week of the season, the Saints and the Texans. It came down to the last second, and the Texans go down and score, and then you give Drew Brees a Hall of Fame quarterback time, and he goes right back down, and they score, and they win the game.
I hate to say this, but look at Tom Brady.
I mean, exactly. I mean, exactly. That's exactly right. They got scored on, but yet they still find a way to win. And like you said, with that attitude, when they get scared like that, or even if I'm not saying they're scared play, because these players don't play scared. It gets to a point where it can kind of hamper you a little bit. But as a leader, you're showing those guys, okay, hey, you know what? They scored. Big deal. Short-term memory. Go out and keep firing off. Keep doing your job. We'll get there. We'll get there.
That's what our coach says, the new coach, Whitaker. He goes, next play mentality. If they get a 10-yard gain, so what? They got it. It's done. Focus on next play.
Exactly. And Coach Whitaker, I really like his intensity on the sideline as a defensive coach. I mean, he's a guy I'd probably run through a brick wall through just watching him coach. Talk about what it's like having him now kind of being your defensive coordinator.
I like him because he changed up the defense, and he says it every week, you're not a starter unless I see it in practice. Because we have these three things now. It's effort, attitude, and physicality. And when you show all three of those, that's when you're going to start varsity. Even if you're a freshman, sophomore, senior, junior. It doesn't matter to the coaches.
And it shows. I mean, you have freshmen like Cam Shively and Trey Shue playing on the line.
Mm-hmm.
You're seeing freshmen play because they have the right attitude. They're being physical, and like you said, they're doing all the things. They're working hard. And you do that. And the one thing I've loved watching you play center. You do such a great job at center. You're getting that figured out. And then when we were watching during Manchester during the scrimmage, I'm like, and I saw 58 blow through. I'm like, who's that?
Right.
Wow, he's pretty good. I'm sitting there and watching that, and I'm like, Farrell? Wow, you talk about a high motor. This guy's going to come off the end. He's going to make some people pay. And watching you play and how you talk about firing off and that work ethic, that's all the way across. And you guys show that. I mean, unfortunately, you hit tough moments. But like I said, keep encouraged because we believe in you. And we know you can do it, and you guys know you can do it. Just go out there and you just keep encouraging those guys. You guys are going to get there. What do you enjoy most about playing football?
Like everything. I like the brotherhood. I just love the sport in general. Like, there's nothing wrong about the sport.
Exactly right. And you learn the way to play the right way. It makes it that much more fun. Now we'll kind of go on that brotherhood thing. Being a student athlete, and I know school's tough for everybody. But at the same time, when you work through those things, talk about the brotherhood to help and hold you accountable to get those grades to help you play on Friday, to help you be able to play and practice and be part of a team.
Well, we have this thing every Thursday for a half hour after school. It's called study table, and if you have a D or lower, you're not watching film on your phone, do nothing. You're just strictly studying or doing homework. And if you're failing a class, we'd say, like, ask us. Ask the people that aren't, like, have a D or lower, because those people might understand and help you understand it.
Exactly, and that's where that brotherhood thing comes into and keeps you accountable. Plus, when you get older and as far as when you graduate, that those grades and doing that work and learn how to hold each other accountable and do that work, it really helps you when you can become an adult. And like I said, it's tough, and I mean, it can be scary sometimes. I know it was for me when I was a student athlete. It's tough, but at the same time, what you guys do is huge. And when I heard about the study tables last year, I thought that was the coolest thing I ever heard about a football team, and that you guys actually know you guys do that. Speaking of that, what class do you enjoy getting to take in school? I know weights is one given the background we have here, and I know this is a special spot here for you.
Yeah. Probably history, because the new teacher, Mr. Higgins, one of the coolest teachers I've ever had. Like, he's so chill. Like, we'll be doing notes. He goes, I know this is boring, but we got to fight through it. And then he makes the easiest test.
Hey, man, and when you have that, a teacher that you enjoy and get to go do that, history, and plus I liked history, but yeah, but when you have that's awesome. Outside of school and football, what do you enjoy getting to do the most?
Probably playing PlayStation, a couple buddies, anytime I get, wrecking Gavin and some Madden, and I don't know, sometimes hanging out with the boys.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. It's good. And like I said, I'm 30 years old and I still find time to still play PlayStation. Favorite pregame activity to kind of get you pumped up and get ready for Friday night?
Normally we go to, like, a friend's house, eat a little bit, food, and then we get into the locker room. And before I lost my headphones, I would listen to music. But now we got this crappy speaker that all you hear is static, and I guess that pumps a little bit people up. But normally I just get in the zone, get changed into my pants if it's an away game, or get changed in my full gear if it's a home game.
Very good. And that stuff really gets you pumped up to listen to the right song. It can get you just motivated just in that spot. Before we hang this up, anybody want to give a shout out to before we hang this up?
My Duke, my grandpa, basically the whole family, and the coaches.
Now I keep hearing about this before I sign off here. I keep hearing about Coach Eunice's pep talks.
Nah.
Now, You've got to get me into one of these pep talks. You got to sneak me in for either a halftime or even one at the beginning of the game.
Pre-game is the best.
You got to sneak me in for pregame. We can start the broadcast a little late. Gavin can be talking, so we can always sneak me in so I can hear one of those pregame talks. You got to work me in, Farrell. Come on now.
Hey man, before North Judson, before we go head in, I'll yell out, Andy, come on.
All right.
Right before he does it.
Okay, I'll be hanging out by the fence for that one.
All right.
Until next time, Trojan fans, remember the Trojan way.